So I was just here thinking on how I could make Forbidden Lands simpler to be played solo, and I have created like this character sheet. I already had these. I just tried to adjust it a little bit, just a test, and then I was thinking about some stuff and I thought, well, maybe I should do this in a video and share because other people could contribute with the yeah with the idea in the end. Let's see. What happens here is this character sheet, actually I printed it, but there's some missing stuff. Yeah, I need to, as you can see here, for instance, I have the logo here but not here. For some reason my printer just messed up everything. I should have like these circles, small circles here also, and for some reason it's not here, but it doesn't matter. I'm still changing it. Yeah, but let's just let me just share what I have thoughts so far. I was thinking first about character creation, okay, and I could also go back to the push mechanic that I talked in the last video because I was testing and checking some stuff, and I might have also another solution because in Forbidden Lands I really like to use the dice. So I have plenty of special dice only for Forbidden Lands, and I was thinking, yeah, if I use the stress mechanic in the end, I want to use my dice and I want to use them. So I just went back to what I did in the for the Mutant Year Zero, because what happens is I was checking and it seems that we only need willpower points if we want to use our profession talent, also called path. So if it's not a path talent, sorry, it does not require a willpower point. So only these talents here, specific talents for the druids, for the peddler, sorcerer, yeah, and all professions talents, they require, yeah, rogue, sorcerer, peddler, rider, yeah, everyone here, hunter, fighter, and so on. These requires willpower point, but the other ones, the general talents, usually, as far as I could see, they do not require it. So these general talents are more like professions or things that you are a specialist, and it makes sense. So if we think based on the year zero mini approach, it has the concept, right? So and the concept, as it's written here, describes who you are and provides you with an implied skill set. Okay, great. So if we go back to a profession, let's go back here, for instance, sorcerer, it says key attributes, wits, and skills: crafting, sleight of hand, lore, insight, manipulation. If I go to the rider, it has endurance, melee, marksmanship, survival, animal handling. I would say that once we talk about the concept, I can say rogue or rider or sorcerer as part of my concept. But we also have a kin, right? So if I go here to the kin, we have a halfling that they have key attribute empathy. They have a kin talent card called hard to catch, and they have also typical professions and typical names, but it doesn't matter too much now. So I could say that the concept for Forbidden Lands mini game would be a kin plus a profession plus a general talent. Or actually I could start with the general talent just to fits better, because it fits better in the grammar. But let's say that I could say my character is ex-fighter, peddler, actually ex-fighter, Halfling Peddler. Does it make sense? So I'm stating already that we have the X Fighter talent. Because I'm not going to use talent, I definitely can use this as a reference. What means the talent X Fighter? And then I can see, okay, attacks roll, modified. But in the end, what means for us is that if I'm using an X, it makes me more, I am a specialist on it, right? It doesn't mean that other characters that do not have X Fighter cannot use it, but my concept makes me a specialist on it. And it would work also, for instance, for other general talents. We have the Pathfinder. Where is it? Let me see. Pathfinder. Pathfinder is essential for those who wants to roll survival role, right? To explore the maps and make camp and so on. So I know already that some concepts, like Druid, for instance, has survival as a skill, as part of the main skills. So I could just say a Druid implicitly knows how to survival in the wilderness, okay? But a fighter, not necessarily. But if I want to make a fighter that fits better to a wild environment, I could say it's a Pathfinder fighter, actually a Pathfinder dwarf fighter. No? So I think this is a good way. Then, so one might see here already that I have concept, and concept would be general talent, the kin, and the profession. Okay? So, and then in the end, every single row, what mechanically speaking, the concept, when you build your dice pool, your concept, it can add more dice to it. So you can add 2 dice to your pool, or you can add just 1. What it means is what does it mean? If your concept fits exactly with the action that you are trying to perform, you roll 2 dice more. You add 2 more dice to your pool. But if it fits, kind of, it fits but not too much, you just add 1 dice. And of course, if your concept does not fit with anything, you just do not add any dice. And that's it. The concept helps you to build your dice pool. And this is really important. But going back now to the push mechanic, and I hope I'm not I'm not confusing, make things a little bit more confusing as they should be. Every profession has a path. We have the Druid's talents, and Druids has 3 paths: path of healing, path of shifting shapes, and path of sight. And the fighters have path of the blade, path of the enemy, and path of the shield. And I could go, rogues, path of the face, path of the killer, and path of the poison. I can read them and try to understand what they mean in the end, but as these talents require willpower points to be used, I would add here path. So I would write the path. For instance, let's say I am a druid and I get the path of shifting shapes, and I write here shifting shapes. If I want to use it, of course the path belongs to my concept. So if I'm a druid and I'm trying to shifting or using these somehow, I can add the concept to the dice pool, but mechanically speaking, we will need to spend our willpower point. Yeah. So in the end, the push mechanic would be almost the same as they are in the book. Let's write down a character here, just an example. So a concept would be, as I said, a general talent, and let's say I have a list here. I can say, let's say I have no idea. I'm a wanderer, right? So I am a wanderer, and then I can go to the wanderer talent and try to see what it does. So it says you can travel foot through the wilderness for a long time without stopping for rest. Your endurance roll is modified by +1 and so on. I don't care about the ranks. What I care is only the description, to understand what that talent means. So in this case, I'm a wanderer, meaning that I can endure a long distance. I can travel more time than normal people. And I can say also that I'm a wanderer, and I would say orc. Okay, I'm a wanderer orc, and then I can read orc. The king talents, I'm ignoring them. Of course, if you know Forbidden Lands lore, or you can read the talents that they have there, but they are sometimes you need to spend willpower points, sometimes you don't need to spend willpower point. So I don't care about these talents. You can fit this narratively in your story. So I'm a wanderer orc, and then I need to get now a profession. And let's say I'm a wanderer orc peddler. Okay. And peddler has path of golds, path of lies, and path of many things. Once again, I can read them, but I will get the path of lies, for instance. And I can just write down here, lies. Yeah. As far as the number that we should add to the attributes, agility, wits, and empathy, I'm not sure how much we should use, because if we have a look here and in the character sheet, in the character creation, it considers your age as the baseline for the amount of points, and I'm not willing to do it, because also the age can increase the amount of skills that you have, or the amount of talents, initial talents that you have. And as we are not using talents as written and we do not have skills, I'm not sure if we need to consider it. If we see here, a young character has about 15 attribute points, but they also have like 8 skill points, and then you have just 1 talent. We don't have skill points, so I could basically try to bring just increase the number of attribute points, and the concept also brings some dice to us. If we have a look at the Easier Zero Mini, it says there is like a suggestion. It goes between 10 and 16, and I would say that 16 seems to be a good number. We could have 444, but you could also check the kin and the profession to see, okay, a kin or orc usually has more strength, a peddler usually have more empathy. So I could try to balance it and to make it better, or to looks better as a wanderer orc peddler. So I could say, for instance, I have 5 here, I have 4 here, and then I could have like maybe another 4 here and a 3 here. So here is my character, the wanderer orc peddler, and path of lies. I could also try to bring pride and dark secret. I wrote them here because the pride, you can use D12, and then I think it could work also. But let's just focus now on this test here, because I'm still testing it. I do not have any definition yet. What I'm doing here is just testing stuff. So let's say that my orc wants, he's a wanderer, and he is trying to maybe roll a survival check just to lead the way. And once again, I'm doing it to make it simpler, and I could have like 2, 3, or 4 characters, way simpler to handle them, as you see. And I think one could be, I could say also, like, these guys is the guy who leads the way. Yeah, so I could have more guys, but let's say just for this example, this orc here, and let's name him. His name is going to be Eugene. Eugene the orc. Okay, so Eugene wants to lead the way. So it's wits. We know by the rules, as I said, we don't want to replace all the rules. We want to use the rules as a guideline, as a base for our game. So we know that we usually roll wits plus survival. In this case, he does not have survival in his concept, although one could understand that Wanderer could fit somehow, so maybe instead of 2 dice, I could just add 1 die to the pool due to this concept. If you don't agree, just do not add any die, and I could also say, yeah, no, he does not know how to lead the way. He always relies on other people to do it. Okay, great. So what does he have here? He has 4 wits. So we bring 4 wits. Okay. One thing here that I forgot to mention. Every time, and in order to use these special dice, if you are using an attribute in your pool, you add the white dice, right? If you are adding concept, or depending on your asset, I didn't get any asset, so I could say that his asset is it could be a weapon. Yeah, an asset gives +2 dice, but it also could be something else. I could like have a donkey as my asset, and every time that I want to do something that I think that my asset could work, I could do. So I could say, yeah, let's say I have a donkey, and yeah, and I could name it like Apollo. So Apollo the donkey. So donkey, this is my asset, and I could say, can the donkey helps me on this situation? Probably not, but let's say yes, just to show you how it would work. So if my concept fits, and if my asset fits, and it's not a weapon, it's not a gear, I add a red die. Okay, so let's say, just for the sake of this example, that Wanderer gives me 1 die, and the asset, the donkey, helps me also with 1 die instead of 2. So I add them here. And let's say that I have a gear that also helps me doing it. I do not know. I think there is a special gear here that gives some kind of bonus to survival rolls, or to lead the way. Yeah, a map could give me like a bonus. Let's say that I have a map, and a map counts as a gear in this case, or a spyglass. I could have a spyglass. So I would add here these gear dice. So every time that you roll, you should add white dice for your attributes, red dice for your concept and asset if it's not a gear, and a black die for every gear that you have that is helping you, right? So let's roll it. And I have 1 success, and usually, and by the rules, the red die, the ones does not count, right? Because do not count because they are the skill dice, but in this case it will count, and I will let you know. So we would keep this 6 and this 1, and let's say I want to push because I want to have more success for any reason, and I push it, and in this case I have now 2 successes, but I have a 1 here. What does it mean? Let's go into this, and then please tell me what you think in the comments, because sometimes I get myself making things a little bit more complicated. That probably it's the case that I should not do anything and just play the game as it's written, but I do think it makes sense. So if I roll a 1 in white die, I get 1 point of damage in my attribute. Actually, not in the attribute, I if it is strength or agility, I get 1 point of damage here, and I should have a paperclip that I will just move. So I get 1 point. It says 1 harm. I suffer 1 harm, and 1 harm, and then I get 1 willpower point. Okay. If it is wits or empathy, I get 1 stress and 1 power point. Every time that I roll a 1, I will have a 1 power point. But if I roll a 1 in a red die, it means that I have a complication in the scene. I still get the 1 power point, but I need to bring a complication. I succeeded, but something happens. What happens? It could be I foresee something, a danger. I hear something. Whatever, I lose a resource. This is also something that could happen. If I roll a 1 in a gear die, I could lose that gear, or it could break, or it could be damaged, something like that. By doing it, I can use my special dice in a Forbidden Lands mini game, and I think it would work really well, right? And we don't need to think too much about the consequences when we roll a 1. So any kind of 1s would give us willpower point, just 1. If you roll like it depends now, because I didn't think about it, but let's say that I roll a 1 here, and then a 1 here, and another 1 here. I didn't think about this situation. Let's say that I roll something like this. So in this case, I would have 1 point of damage in 1 gear. I would lose. I would say, because I don't want to have. I could have a lot of power points, right? Like get 3 power points, and then I would have 3 consequences. I could choose for it, I think. But what I would like to avoid is that if I roll something like this, like 2 1s, I don't want to have 2 harms at the same time. I just want to have 1. So for this situation, I'm inclined to say that I need to pick 1 of them and then just get 1 power point. But another option could be all 3 happens at once, and then I get 3 willpower points. It could be. I do not know. I need to test it. Let me know if it's confusing. But in the end, what I would like to say is we only get, when we push, we only suffer 1 bad consequences. It could be a narrative consequence due to the red die. It could be damage or harm or stress depending on the attribute, or it could affect your gear or even your asset if your asset is a weapon. I think, yeah, it could work like that if it is a gear, not only a weapon, but if it is a gear. I could actually also try to bring the gear dice more to the asset. Like in this case, my asset is a donkey. It's not a weapon, but if I roll a 1, maybe my donkey gets a wound. For some reason, maybe it was walking and then it fell in a hole or something like this. Yeah. So I'm still thinking here. I'm still thinking, but I think I'm in a good path, and I like it as it is. But once again, I need to test it. So let's say that Eugene now have a willpower point, and now he wants to convince someone, right? He has the path of lies, and if we go to the book, we see that we need to spend willpower points to just tell someone something, and people will believe us, right? Of course, there are several ranks by the book, but I would make this simpler. Just say that he is good at it, and I could say I'm trying to convince, let's say, a group of humans that try to kill me. Because yeah, they see me as an orc and they see me as a threat for some reason. I could say, okay, I have a willpower point to just spend this willpower point, so I trigger my path of lies, and that's it, right? I can check the book And by checking the book, actually the path of lies is called now path of words. Although in the table, in the same book, it says path of lies, but here is path of words, meaning that I'm a master negotiator. So I'm skilled on both seeing through deception as well as persuading others to see things in your way. And I have different ranks. I don't care about the ranks, as I said, but I am trying to convince someone. And I can spend willpower point here to get some information. And in rank 2, actually, I can willpower point to have a success, automatic success. But I could roll first, and if I fail, I can then try to I could spend this willpower point to succeed. So once again, let's say that I have willpower point. I want to convince someone that I'm not a threat. In this case, I would roll 4 for my empathy, and as I am a peddler, I am good at it. So I would have 2 more dice and red dice from my concept. I would roll it. And then in this case, I have a success and I have a narrative consequence, bad consequence. Yeah, something bad should happen here. Although I have a success, so I convince them, okay, I'm not a threat, and they believe and they trust me. But the bad consequence is they say, okay, we trust you, we believe in you, but be aware that there is a group here hunting down orcs. So this is already a bad consequence, because now I need to be aware, I am aware that there is a group hunting orcs in this region. So this is a narrative bad consequence of my role without affecting my success. See? And I think it worked really well. Really well. I need to test this, but so far I think it's good. I think it's good. And if you want to try it also, please tell me your give me your feedback. And in this character sheet, I also add food, water, arrows, and torches, because this is a survival game. So I don't want to remove the essence of this game. So I just kept here food, and we can use this special die for it also. So I could say I have D12 food, or let's say D8 arrows, and I have the 8 water and 0 torches in this situation. And you know how it works, just roll every day, and if you roll 1, you reduce your food. 1 or 2, I need to check the rules, but I think it's if you roll 1 or 2, if I'm not wrong, you reduce the die from D12 to D8, from D8 to D6, from D6 to nothing, and that's it. What do you guys think about it? I think it works. I would like to create more characters. I want to improve this character sheet also a little bit more. And yeah, that's it. That's it. Tell me, give me your feedback, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.